warm welcome to Bharata First. I'm Frank Pereira. This is FRP Explains. Bharata First has launched its Knowledge Center for your benefit. It's a learning experience like none other, and it will change the way you gain knowledge. Go to kc.bharatafirst.com for more details and make use of the early bird limited period offer. Also, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and then all notifications, and share the content with as many people as possible. Right then, so 2 interviews given by the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, and the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, have shown Pakistan's double standards and let us also know that the adage that you can never straighten a dog's tail is so very true. Despite everything that Pakistan has been doing in Kashmir in the recent past, with the ceasefire in place, with Pakistan saying that they are going to mend their ways and so on and so forth, why is it happening in the first place? It's because of the pressure that India has put in Kashmir. It has ensured that radicalization has come down. It has ensured that militancy has come down drastically as well, and made the porous border that much more tighter, and it's difficult for the Pakistanis to infiltrate into India, and that's why Pakistan has chosen that path, or else Pakistan will never go away from its stated policy of bleeding India with 1,000 cuts. Now, an interview that Prime Minister Imran Khan gave to HBO was an interesting one, and I must laud the journalist for asking those tough questions, being persistent, and there is a thing or two for us to learn from that interview as well, and I wish Indian journalists to take that path at some point in time. Right then, so he's speaking about, the Uyghur Muslims is what the journalist is asking him about, and he very conveniently deflects the topic and doesn't address it at all, and talks about Kashmir instead, and says that, there are Muslims in Kashmir who are suffering. Aren't the Uyghurs in Xinjiang also suffering? Why isn't Pakistan talking about it? So only Muslims in Kashmir matter, other Muslims don't matter for Imran Khan? Is this the kind of message that he wants to send out, that only selected Muslims or selective Muslims are important and the others they don't care about? That seems to be the clear message that is coming out from his interview. I mean, you can watch the interview, short clip that we're going to play now, and judge for yourself.
China has been one of the greatest friends to us in our most difficult times. When we were really struggling, our economy was struggling, China came to our rescue. So we respect the way they are, and whatever issues we have, we speak behind closed doors. How come this is such a big issue in the Western world? Why are the people of Kashmir ignored? It is much more relevant compared to what might be going in the Uyghurs. 100,000 Kashmiris have been killed. There are 800,000 Indian troops, which have literally, it's an open prison in Kashmir. 9 million Kashmiris are put there. Why is that not an issue? So I think it's hypocrisy.
They've been a huge partner to you, China, but on some level, doesn't it make you feel sick to have to be quiet because of all this money they're putting into Pakistan?
I look around the world, what's happening in Palestine, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Afghanistan. Am I going to start talking about everything? I concentrate on what is happening on my border, in my country.
This is on your border.
Which is part of, that is part of Pakistan. 100,000 Kashmiris are dying. That concerns me more, because half of Kashmir is in Pakistan.
This is a grotesquely large human rights atrocity.
First of all, I'm not sure about that, because our conversations with the Chinese, this is not the picture that comes from that side.
So just to put a fine point on this, you are not in any way concerned about the Muslim Uyghurs in Xinjiang?
Our discussions with Chinese will always be behind closed doors.
So this was interview number 1, and you can very clearly see how Imran Khan is saying that they only like to talk to China behind closed doors. What they talk behind closed doors, what they do behind closed doors, I will leave that to your imagination. I'm not going to say anything more. Now, moving on to the other interview, the second interview, which the Afghanistan channel Tolo conducted of Shah Mahmood Qureshi, and here too The journalist has done a very fine job and he must be commended for everything that he has said and everything that he has done. Right? So he's speaking to Shah Mahmood Qureshi about Osama bin Laden being a martyr. And he's giving a reference to how Prime Minister Imran Khan has called Osama bin Laden a martyr. And he goes on to push Shah Mahmood Qureshi to talk about Osama bin Laden. And here too, very conveniently, Shah Mahmood Qureshi just deflects and does not want to answer. And finally too, he doesn't eventually answer the question, giving out the sense that he wants to convey that Osama bin Laden is indeed a martyr. Is that the message that Pakistan wants to send out? A declared terrorist who has killed thousands of people, who has slaughtered thousands of people and wreaked havoc across the world, and Pakistan does not even want to condemn this person. Well, what can you expect from Pakistan? Pakistan had given him safe shelter in Pakistan itself. So obviously, Pakistan may be looking at him as a martyr, and that's why Shah Mahmood Qureshi also is mum about this. Listen to this video as well.
Prime Minister Imran Khan called Osama bin Laden a martyr.
Well, again,
Simple
out of context. He was quoted out of context. A particular section of the media played it up.
Is he a martyr? You disagree? Osama bin Laden?
I will let that pass.
So that was, of course, Shah Mahmood Qureshi not being committal about whether Osama bin Laden is a martyr or a terrorist, but sometimes silence speaks 1,000 words and we get the message clearly. Now, there was another part of that first interview that Imran Khan did with HPO that I'm going to go back to. He's speaking about the increase in crimes against women in this particular video, and he talks about how the clothes that the women wear is a cause for the increased number of crimes against women. He says men are not robots to just look the other way or behave in a particular way. It's because the women wear what they wear, they are being lured by the men to do what they have to do. I mean, what an absurd explanation given by the Prime Minister of a country. How can you expect something like this from a Prime Minister of a country? And, for someone who's educated, someone whom you think is suave, someone who's traveled across the world, you would expect better. But I think the problem is that we have expectations. We should not have expectations from someone like this. That way it makes our lives a lot more easier. So this was the second part of the first interview. Just take a listen into what Imran Khan had to say about the rising number of crimes against women.
So if you raise temptation in the society to the point, and all these young guys have nowhere to go, it has consequences in the society.
Do you think that what women wear has any effect? That's part of this temptation?
If a woman is wearing very few clothes, it will have an impact on the men, unless they're robots.
So that was Imran Khan talking about that. But we shouldn't be too happy about it because similar kind of statements have been made by our own politicians, thankfully not at the highest level, but in parliament and elsewhere as well. There have been several leaders who have come out and spoken about women dressing appropriately, women not wearing jeans and so on and so forth. This kind of culture needs to stop. It needs to go away because it's not going to lead to anything. Women should be free to wear what they want to wear, how they want to wear it. Of course, there is certain decorum that needs to be maintained. You can't walk out in skimpy clothes, in a marketplace, for instance. I mean, there should be a situation where you can, but you have to dress situation appropriately, and women should be allowed to wear what they want to wear and when they want to wear it. This, moral policing by anyone is not good. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of FRP Explains. If you like the content, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon and then all notifications. Before I go, let me inform you that Bharata First has launched its knowledge center as well for your learning experience. It will change the way you gain knowledge, and it's a whole new learning experience that will not only help you in your competitive exams journey, but will also help you in life itself. So go to kc.bharatafirst.com and register now to ensure that you make use of the limited period early bird offer. That's it from me. See you again next time.